the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
90% of a city wiped and 80,000 people killed, just like that. August 6th, 1945, a day in history that would change the course of the future. All because of a man named J. Robert Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was born on April 22nd, 1904, in New York City. At 7 years old, his parents forced him into an ethical culture school hoping it would make him more interested in learning, which ultimately worked. He completed 3rd and 4th grade in 1 year and skipped half of 8th. It was not until his final year of high school until he became very interested in chemistry and physics. Oppenheimer was a straight-A student and eventually was admitted into Harvard University, where he majored in chemistry. Oppenheimer immediately enrolled in the advanced classes, where he discovered he actually enjoyed experimental physics and thermodynamics more than chemistry. He graduated in 4 years and then attended Cambridge University. It was there where he fought a lot of depression and ended up dropping out. A couple years later, a physicist named Max Born invited Oppenheimer to attend the University of Göttingen. This is where Oppenheimer would meet a lot of prominent physicists and later get his doctorate degree in theoretical physics. Oppenheimer's early research was devoted to the energy processes of subatomic particles, including electrons, positrons, and cosmic rays. Slowly but surely, Oppenheimer gained popularity throughout the science world, and more physicists were intrigued to work with him. His career really took off after him and his colleagues' research on black holes was published. At the time of the publication, scientists thought Oppenheimer was incorrect in what he stated. His theory stated that black holes are simply a place in the universe where matter is packed into a tiny place where the force of gravity pulls so much that nothing can escape, including light. This theory set the stage for all future research around black holes, but Oppenheimer is also credited for one more important thing.
Poland, September 1939. The German foe begins its ruthless march of conquest and sets the stage for World War II.
In 1939, just as World War II was beginning in Europe, Albert Einstein, Leo Szilard, and Eugene Wagner warned the U.S. government of the danger that could come if the Nazis were the first to make a nuclear bomb. The U.S. government immediately took charge and appointed Oppenheimer to be the administrator at the laboratory where the atom bomb was to be created. This would later become known as the Manhattan Project. Oppenheimer set up the laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico, where he spent a lot of his childhood. The first thing he had to do was figure out how to separate uranium-235 from natural uranium. If he was able to figure this out, building the bomb would become much easier. That is because uranium is what causes the atomic explosion. Fast forward 6 years, and with the help of many other physicists, the first atom bomb was ready to be tested. On July 16, 1945, at Trinity's site near Alamogordo, New Mexico, Robert Oppenheimer, along with his colleagues, stood back to watch the first ever atomic explosion. With their atomic glasses on, a blinding flash lit up the sky that was visible from 200 miles away. A mushroom cloud reached 40,000 feet, blowing out the windows of civilian homes up to 100 miles away. When the cloud finally disappeared, the bomb had created a half-mile-wide crater that turned sand into glass. Word soon reached President Truman that the test was successful and that America was the first to ever use nuclear power within the bases of the military. The world had finally entered the nuclear age. After World War II, Oppenheimer was appointed to be the chairman of the General Advisory Committee to the Atomic Energy Commission. He served from 1947 to 1952. In 1952, he was accused of having communist sympathies and had his position taken away. He spent the rest of his life as the director of Princeton's Advanced Study, where he researched relativistic physics. Sadly, on February of 1967, Oppenheimer died of throat cancer. While Oppenheimer is not a remembered figure to most, the result of his work changed the course of history. You can possibly pin him to be the creator of the modern nuclear arms race, but we must not forget his contributions to the world of science involving space. He set the basis of how all future studies around black holes would go. His theory is what scientists still use today. Some say he's a hero, others say he's an enemy. J. Robert Oppenheimer, the creator of the end.